Influence here. This is the transformation from the car to robot.
Transformers reviews, tech and the news, whatever else I use as a muse. Hit subscribe, I appreciate the views. Influences interest on YouTube.
Move these out. I like to get these doors off of here.
Subscribe.
Peg them right there, right there, right there, if it pegs in. Move that up a little. It's easier. You can get these out of here like this. Pull this up. Get it out of here if it's not already. And you got that. I just fold these in now and fool with a lot of this stuff. You can just leave it like that. You can move this up. It's tabbed in there, tabbed in back here. This is tabbed in. Actually, you can fool with these arms. Move this out on both sides. Tabbed in right here, right there. And you can kind of just get this as much as possible. Got to try to move it. It's hard because you can move this arm like this and then like kind of push it, because you want these to get out a little bit in order to be able to flip this around where you need it. Then you can just move this so it's out the way. Move that down, then you can flip it around how it should be. Then you can move this back up in there. You can move the fender out as well and just leave it like that. Pull the fender out of the way before you start moving this, but then it's a little easier to move it. You can move this and just leave it like that. Now all this will be like this. You can move these up just so you can have some room to get these legs. Now the legs, move this out of here. This is tabbed in. It's tabbed in up here. The tab right here might be a little harder. I think there's a tab. They're tight tabs. So then you can just move this stuff up like this just to get it out the way. Fool with these legs. Put these apart. And they're on by the pegs that you pull out. You can push them in. Move this out. Get these legs out of here. They move like this. It's only this little part that really moves. You can see it'll drop down. So then you kind of get it to move around here. You know you have it right when this kind of fills in between that thing. Getting over here. Kind of move it. You kind of do one of these numbers while you're pulling it, then it'll come down. You can get it in there, and these can close. Now the foot, pull the foot out. It is tabbed on. There's a tab right back here. That tab's right there. So move that down. Then you can fool with this. This right here is really tricky. So once you move this, you want to move this up and move this back, all the way back. And it's going to be in the back like that. And then you're going to move this up like this. And the end result is hard to kind of explain, but the end result is this stuff will be on the bottom here, and then this will swing up and kind of covers that hole right there. It tabs in there and tabs in there, and then you can move this foot and push the foot up. So then it's like this. Then you got all of this. Now with this foot right here, move this thing up and it kind of pegs there, and then you can move these back, and these are just like, you know, little covers, little things to add to it. Then this right here you pull down, and this goes over the foot to give it the, you know, kind of the way it's supposed to look. And then this goes down here. Then this, you pull this out, and there's a peg in the back of the leg, and that's how this leg stays together. You kind of bend the knee and then get that peg in there where it's supposed to go. There's two tabs. The tabs aren't really tabbed, like they don't tab in. They're really just slotted in to kind of line it up to where you're supposed to be. And that's that. It is a little difficult to explain and to show, but so you move that out like this. Then you can move this down here. This goes to the back since it can get around all this stuff. This comes down like this, and then this right here goes up to fill in that spot. This can come down if you want it now. It fills in that spot, and you can kind of see where it's supposed to be. Now, right here, you know the deal, because you can close this, and there's a peg there that it pegs on, and then a peg right there. And then you can move this down. You can pull it out. I don't really pull it out because it has enough wiggle room to get around, and it does. Then you can get this part of the foot up, and then it pegs on right there, and you can move these down over to, they're on mushroom pegs, so they will come off sometimes. This side comes off all the time. Well, every time I transformed mine. So then should be good now. Then you can move this, pull these out, and put it into the back of the leg. And then these tabs kind of slide in. Like I said, they don't really peg in, they just slide in. And then you can move this over like that, and you'll feel it click and stop. And there you go. Waist right here, you want to move this down and peg them together so you get the legs where they need to be. Move it down, and then move this down and peg this on here. And you can get these situated. They fall in and do all types of stuff, but you're okay. Then move that in there, move these down. Now move this around like this. so it's closer to the side where you need a skirt. Then you can rock this up, and there's 2 pegs right here that this goes into, and the bottom pegs on that joint there, and that's what keeps them together. Pull these down right here, a little tab right there, you pull them down, bend them around, little tab to tab them in to get this. Now you can, where his head is, you push that out, and then you can bend his head all the way around and up, and then put it back down. It'll go there. Then you can push this up in there as well. Get these situated. There's tabs right here. You want to kind of get out carefully. They're not too bad. There are tabs up here too, so watch that. You can slide these bars up, and then these go down like this and up. So this right here, you can move, you can pull this out, because these windows are supposed to go in here. You see how they slid in there on both sides, so they kind of keep it. But then you slide this down. You can move these up to get them out your way, and then you slide this down, and make sure I'm not forgetting anything. It feels weird. You do gotta be careful, because you gotta, there's these two that you gotta get around these windows. There you go, that's around the windows. And then this tabs on to here. There's 2 tabs right here. This will tab on to. There you go. Tab that there. And then just get these out the way. All this stuff just automatically comes up. But let's get these out the way for now, so we can get these. So you can rock these back and put them down like this. Move this down. And there's a tab that they tab onto in the back. And then you rock this around up, and the tire, there's a peg that the tire goes into, and then there's a peg up here that pegs right there, and I think there's another peg somewhere, but we'll see when we get there. So rock this up like that, and then get all that together. There may be a peg in the front, I'm not sure. This is here because this peg will peg on to here to keep that. So again, on this side, I'm gonna rock this down, peg this into the back, make sure this is right, and then rock this around and peg it on. Make sure the tire, make sure it pegs on to the tire, and then on this part. And this right here, this comes off sometimes. But once you get it right, it should be all right. There we go. Move this down. Just cleaning it up. Skirts a little bit. Now for this, now you put this up here, and it pegs. It'll peg in right there. It should. What I do is I make sure I peg it onto the backpack nice and good, and then push it together to peg it on, and this stuff comes off. Like I said, it does come off sometimes. Then you can put your wings wherever you want them. You can move them like this, up, down, or you can leave them back here. They can move around. leave them in the back, or I like them up here like that, or you can have them a little bit better. Move the arms, get the fist out. Last but not least, arms, fist, and there we go. Robot mode. Believe everything is good. All right, so thanks for watching.
You know, life ain't over, life ain't over, life ain't over. As long as you alive, you can give another try and take it real high if you want it.